Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today I've got for you 10 different designer fragrances that we can use to dupe other people. You may be asking yourself, dupe other people? How? Why? Well, here's how and why. These are designer fragrances, right? But they smell expensive. AF. That AF stands for audio frequency. I don't know what you were thinking that stood for. That makes sense, right? Expensive audio frequency? Yeah. All of these scents, though, do smell way more expensive than they cost, especially if you're able to scoop them up at the good old discounter of your choice. Although some of them are newer releases, and for those, they probably, at least as of this video, are not readily available at discounters yet. All the scents I talked to you about are going to be linked in the description below. Let's get started. We shall begin with Versace Oud Noir. I love some Oud Noir in my life. I think the presentation looks pretty good, especially considering this is one that you can pick up usually around $60 or so at discounters. The fragrance itself smells a little bit similar to Tom Ford's Oud Wood, which I probably don't have to remind you is quite pricey. Very rich and spicy, a little bit sweet, but not too sweet. Just a little spicy sweetness in there. This is not bubblegummy, this is not syrupy. It is mainly focused on a multitude of spicy notes, which you can currently see on your screen right now through the magic of editing. Look at those notes, wow, crazy. It does obviously have oud in here, hence the name Versace Oud Noir, but it maintains its wearability. It doesn't turn into an animalic barnyardy type of scent, which is not really a surprise because at the end of the day, it is a designer fragrance. It's not, something that's hyper indie or anything like that. Fantastic for fall and winter, great evening scent, nice classy edge to the fragrance as well. So you can wear this easily in more formal situations. And it smells way more expensive than 60 some odd bucks. Like I said, even the presentation looks pretty slick. That nice gradient black to this kind of smoked out color up at the top, gold around the edges. Also, I just love that one in general. So whenever I can work that into a video, it's like, okay, let's go ahead. Next up, I'm going with Dior Homme Original. What a shame that Dior Homme has changed so much. That being said, I do like Dior Homme 2020 and the new Dior Homme Sport, so I'm part of the problem. That said, I did love the original Dior Homme a ton. Now, as of this video, you can find this at discounters in the US, but it's not really cheap. Not that it's crazy expensive, especially for the quality of the fragrance. Again, as of this video, if you're watching this in the future, who knows what's going on at that point? I don't know, man. Could be a lot of different things going on, a lot of different price points, a lot of different fragrances, I don't know. But as of right now, Dior Homme Original 100 ml bottle you can get for about 100 bucks. The note breakdown for this one is simplified for Dior Homme Original Iris Cardamom Vetiver, but it smells essentially like Dior Homme used to smell. A little bit fresher than Dior Homme Intense, but still with a very prominent iris note that comes across a little bit creamy, sweet, makeup-y, sexy, and also very classy. And to the uninitiated Dior Homme Original, yeah, that smells like a full-on niche fragrance. I know that's hard for some people to wrap their heads around, but if you've never smelled Dior Homme Intense, Dior Homme Original, any of these iris-forward powerhouse style fragrances, and then you smell it, you're gonna be like, what is this? In a good way. I hope, but maybe not, depending on what your taste is. Let's go with the newer one, Wanted, Forever Wanted Elixir. All decked out in the gold bottle from top to bottom, so you know it's gotta smell expensive, right? That's how that works. That means the 1 million line is the most expensive smelling fragrance line of all time. I mean, it's named 1 million. Can't believe I didn't put that in today's video. Spoiler alert, there is no 1 million in today's video. So Forever Wanted Elixir, what's the deal here? Well, this has a really pleasant opening that lasts all of like 4 minutes. It's this sugary, fresh, zingy, slightly tart raspberry with leather. And I know when I say that, some people are gonna think Tuscan leather, but if you've never smelled this one, it's really nothing like Tuscan leather. Unfortunately, that raspberry does not linger for too long. It's really just there in the initial opening for me. Off my skin dissipates pretty quick. That being said, the leather that's in here does smell quite high-end for a designer fragrance. It's rich, it's smooth, it's sexy. It's one that surprisingly works very, very well at garnering positive attention, much more so than I originally thought the first time I wore it. I was like, okay, this smells good, you know, this is good, but leather fragrances typically don't work that well. Ha, this one did. And does. So while leather fragrances may not be for absolutely everybody, after all, at the end of the day, there are not a huge amount of massively successful designer fragrances built around leather where that's like the focal point. I mean, obviously there's stuff like ombre leather, which is very successful, but I'm just saying if you run through like a list of the top 50 best-selling fragrances, most popular fragrances, not a whole heck of a lot of them are gonna be leather fragrances in the sense that you would say that's based on leather. But this one does it successfully, really, really well. It smells quite pricey. All right, let's do one of the clones. I have 2 clones in the list today, only 2 because it would be cheating to load this up with clones because obviously the whole purpose of a clone is to smell way more expensive than what it actually is. I mean, that's the entire reason they exist. This is one of the better ones though, if you're talking about that, you know, being this price but smelling way more expensive. It's Mirage Absolute from French Avenue. This is one of those ones that took a while to consistently be available at discounters. It would pop up, sell out, and then be gone for like 3 months. So that's not very useful to people who are looking for it, but thankfully now it's actually available and seems to be, knock on wood, readily available. So Mirage Absolute, what's the deal with this guy right here? Well, this is a clone of Parfums de Marly's Layton Exclusive. So it still has that very warm, sexy, spicy scent profile that the original Layton has, but this one is slightly darker, a little bit more bold, has a slight animalic touch to it as well. The note breakdown for this is pretty busy. It's got a lot going on. There's bergamot, there's mandarin orange, pink pepper, civet, geranium, oud, vanilla, oak moss, patchouli, even coffee as some of the notes in here. And the price for this, as of this video at discounters, about 35 bucks, sometimes slightly less. At that price point, for how good this smells quality-wise, crazy. The next fragrance is one of my all-time favorite designers, but before we jump to that, here are some coupon codes you can use to save yourself a little money. The JOMASHOP codes are changing every quarter, so make sure that whenever you're watching this, that you have the up-to-date codes, and they only work within the JOMASHOP app. So you have to download the app on your phone, then you can use the codes, and the app is essentially the exact same as their website. Then I've also got codes for Fragflex, Max Aroma, the perfume box, and more. So what fragrance is it that is one of my favorites of all time? Well, none other than Lunar Rosa Black. I adore Lunar Rosa Black. And the day that this is discontinued, it will be a very depressing day. I don't trust you, Prada. I'm just saying, I'm throwing it out there. If you're gonna discontinue this, I demand that you send me an email and let me know. They're never gonna do that. I've never heard from Prada my entire life. There's gonna be one person at Prada that watches this video and they're gonna go, F that guy. Discontinue Lunar Rosa Black right now. So it has tonka and amber, along with angelica, and a little bit of citrus off the top. Slightly powdery, but very sweet. Even has a slight rubbery touch to it in the best of ways. As I've said a number of times, it reminds me a little bit of Midnight in Paris from Van Cleef & Arpels, Bulgari Black, both of which are now discontinued. Talking discontinuations again. This isn't good. It smells like 2 fragrances that have already died. Yeah, Lunar Rosa Black, nowadays it stands out quite a lot. There's not too much out there that smells similar to this, at least that you can readily buy. And so it helps it come across even more expensive because it does have that like slight exotic smell to it. Not exotic in the sense of tropical smells, just in the sense of like, oh, that's a bit different. Next up, a newer one, Guilty Love Edition. So with Guilty Love Edition, you might see this and go, oh man, I don't think that really smells expensive. And yeah, to an extent, it's not the type of fragrance that's crazy, crazy busy with like 50 notes and all of that going on. But the fragrance itself does, to me, smell quite pricey. It's very rich, it's smooth, it has kind of like a honeyed sweet aspect to it. It's a white floral scent at the end of the day, that's really what it's built around, but it's done expertly well. It just smells like something that somebody with money would wear, to boil it down very simply. You can just imagine that as a higher end spring fragrance. It would elevate whatever it is that you're wearing, whether you're rocking a suit or a polo or even just like a plain t-shirt and jeans. It just has a certain feel to it that feels pricey, like I said. And I think it's just how it comes across smooth and fresh, but with good body behind it, like good heft. It's not the type of fresh fragrance where you smell it and it's just very airy and farty and just kind of like goes, you know, like some of those out of the shower clean cheapies where you smell them and you're like, oh, that's pleasant, but there's not really much behind it. Like this has a decent heft to it and it keeps growing on me. as I wear it. Bleu de Chanel up next, Parfum. So this is one where I was like, I don't know, man, Bleu de Chanel Parfum, does that really work? But I think it does. You know, it is a blue fragrance at the end of the day, and a lot of the time people will kind of write blue fragrances off. They'll be like, oh, blue fragrance, you know, it's run of the mill, right? Oh, it's popular, it's everywhere, who cares? But Bleu de Chanel Parfum has that extra bit of class to it. It just makes it smell higher quality than the other designer blue fragrances that it kind of goes up against. Because when you smell it, yeah, it's definitely a blue fragrance, right? It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Woodsy, citrusy, a little aromatic. Essentially what you would expect a parfum to be, taking that Bleu de Chanel DNA that was established with the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum and just kind of bumping it up just a little bit further as far as how sophisticated overall it is and giving it a little more richness. And I just think when you smell that, it smells high quality. It smells pricey as far as designer blues go. And if you were gonna put one designer blue fragrance in here, to me, that's the one that makes the most sense. Let's go cologne again, the last cologne. This is Dumont Solario Epic. And although there's really nothing on the packaging or the name to let you know what this smells similar to, it is a darn good alternative to By Kilian's Angel Share. It's about 50, 60 bucks at discounters, so pretty affordable, all things considered, because when you smell that, it does smell way more expensive than that price point. The performance is great, really long lasting, solid projection, easily gets you noticed. There's cinnamon in here, along with cognac, plum, apple, and vanilla. Obviously, it could remind you also of Lattafa's Camera, but this one may be even better. Just an absolutely stunning scent for fall and winter. And when people ask what you have on, if you want to, you can tell a little fib and tell them it's something that is hundreds of dollars more than what it actually costs. Let's go with a YSL up next. Kind of a similar thought process to the Gucci Guilty Love edition. It's Myself Le Parfum. So obviously this has strong similarities to the original Myself, which is a very clean fragrance, easy to wear, orange blossom forward, but this one being the Parfum version is once again a little bit deeper, richer, higher quality, has vanilla in there, along with amber, kind of a woody aspect as well as it dries down. Now, the original Myself, the Eau de Parfum, that one, if you're looking for just like the safest compliment puller of the two, they would be that one, the Eau de Parfum. This is like taking the Myself DNA, making it a little bit richer, as I just said, better suited for fall, winter, maybe evening use. Also good for spring, day, or evening. And it's just that type of fragrance where you smell it, and you're like, yes, extremely pleasant, pleasing, a little simple in some ways, but darn if it doesn't just smell classy, if it doesn't smell like it costs something. And in the designer realm, I think this does that very well. It kind of walks that line between smelling a little higher end, a little bit more sophisticated, but then still having like a playful touch to it and being really easy to pull off. And we're gonna end on Lommel Extreme. There are a few different Lommel fragrances I thought about putting in here. Might have even put in Platine Privé, if you could find it. I'm not saying I know that this is going away or anything like that. It's just Guerlain has done me dirty before, where you're like, oh, I love this fragrance. Where'd it go? Did they do it again? Like I said, you can still find this one. It makes use of plum, so that is, I think, the second fragrance here that has plum. These two. Oh, both of the red bottles. There's also tobacco, leather, cinnamon, heliotrope, and almond in the scent as well. Just really sweet, but at the same time, classy, sexy, with solid performance to go along with that. It's a fall and wintertime stunner, and it is one of those fragrances that's a little bit more so known by people that really like fragrances, but for most of the people who do their shopping at like Sephora, Ulta, Macy's, and again, nothing against that at all, but people that are shopping mainly there and not looking online or anything like that, they don't really know about this as much. And so that also helps set it apart a little bit, makes it smell a little bit more expensive because it's kind of doing its own thing. So kind of like going back to one of these ones that I talked about before, smelling a little bit exotic in the sense that it's not a hyper common scent profile. That's what's going on here. I mean, the Lommel line, they all smell kind of similar, right? But if you don't know the Lommel line, then you don't know any of that. So there we go, guys. 10 different fragrances, designer fragrances that smell pretty expensive. Some of them, to be fair, are a little bit expensive, but a lot of them are not. I want to thank you guys for hanging with me here today. Let me know in the comments what you feel like is a fragrance that you own, a designer scent that when you smell it, you feel like, man, this smells way more costly than it actually is. Stay safe out there, guys. Take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.